Hi, I'm Ryan Szymanski, curator for Battleship New Jersey Museum and Memorial. Yesterday, November 14th, is the anniversary of USS Juno sinking following the naval battle of Guadalcanal the night earlier. The heavily damaged Juno was leaving the battle when she was torpedoed by a Japanese submarine and sank. The rest of the badly shot up American fleet continued to sail without them, and the survivors of the wreck were left in the water for a number of days. During this time, all 5 Sullivan brothers, between the battle and being shipwrecked, perished. All 5 of them were serving on the same ship, the light cruiser Juno. So today we're going to talk about why that is and a little bit of how prevalent that was. Because if we know anything about Juno, one is that on an 8,000-ton ship, they managed to cram 14 5-inch guns at 7 twin mounts similar to this one on that ship. And the other one is that she was the home and final resting place of the 5 Sullivan brothers. And so it is widely known that after she was sunk, and their family received the notifications that all 5 had been lost in combat, that a rule goes out that won't be done, that family members will no longer serve together. And because we all know this story, this absolutely devastating story, we have forgotten whether that was the norm, whether that was prevalent, or if it was an aberration. If you watch the old black and white movie about it called The Fighting Sullivans, it makes it seem like they have to fight to all get assigned to the same ship. And that might have been the case. They may have had to do a little bit of fighting to get assigned to the same ship, but it is not at all uncommon, even in early World War II, for siblings to serve together. But first, here's a word from our sponsors. Today's video is brought to you by Established Titles. Established Titles uses the ancient Scottish tradition of making landowners a laird or lady, lord or lady, by simple merit of owning property in Scotland. So Established Titles allows you to buy as little as 1 square foot of property in Scotland to become a Scottish lord or lady. This is a prefix like Mr. or Mrs. that you can put on things like your plane tickets, your credit cards, and even your dating profiles. That one's my favorite. They send you a certificate like this one. I'm Lord Ryan Szymanski now. Established Titles makes a great last-minute gift idea. Remember, the holiday season is approaching. And they donate to One Trees Planted and Trees for the Future. I absolutely love this environmentalism about the company. Remember to use the discount code BATTLESHIP to get 10% off your next purchase. And the first 200 people who purchase will get a plot right next to mine in the same kingdom. Established Titles makes a great last-minute gift, and they're running an amazing sale right now in addition to our discount code, so go over there soon. Go to establishedtitles.com/battleship and use the discount code BATTLESHIP to get your gifts now and support our channel and our museum. Pretty famously, on Arizona, a year before Juno goes down, there are 39 families that have multiple relations in them. 38 sets of brothers and 1 set of a father and son. And of those 39 families, 24 total sets were lost. 23 sets of brothers and the father-son duo. 65 total siblings and or father-son combinations are lost on Arizona alone. This is one ship. Now, 2 months before Juno sinks, check out this article we recently found in the New York Times, where a 50-year-old farmer from Washington State joins the crew of the Battleship Nevada after she is raised following the attack on Pearl Harbor, and joins his 7 sons, who are all, according to the article at least, working in one of Nevada's fire rooms. So this is as recently as 2 months before Juno is lost, the Navy is still putting 8 family members, 7 siblings and their father, on the same ship. So again, we think of the Sullivan's incident in November of '42, and we think of that being the turning point, that now families are broken up. If you go into the armed forces, you will intentionally be sent to another unit. And we think about that as the standard. But for much of American history, even a short time before Juno is lost, it is extremely common to be able to request to serve with other family members. And this goes back to the beginning of the military. Remember, the U.S. military is originally formed out of militia groups, primarily during the Revolution. And the militia component remains a huge part of the armed forces, even up to the Spanish-American War in the 1890s, where these militia units are drawn from a specific area. It's pretty famous during the Civil War that regiments are from specific states. So like anyone who's a big fan of the movie Gettysburg like me, you know, it's always talking about the 20th Maine or any of these military units that are all formed from the same state. And those are, send a recruiter out to a town, and that town signs everybody up from it who wants to join, and then they all become a company, and then that company is put into the next regiment that the state is founding. And the person in charge of that company is usually a well-educated community leader. Maybe they were a politician. Maybe they were a school teacher like Colonel Chamberlain of the 20th Maine, later general. Maybe they are, you know, one of these other highly educated positions, a lawyer, something like that. So you are going to serve with your siblings who sign up with you, with the next door neighbor, with all these people you grew up with and know really well, under the leadership of the guy who taught you at school or represented you when you had to fill out your grandfather's will, or whatever the case was. And that is just how military units are until very, very recently. Likewise with the Navy, when a new ship is being commissioned, that ship is typically in the place where it was built. So here in the Philadelphia area, we've got the frigate United States being built right across the river from where the battleship is now. Most of that original crew comes from the Philadelphia area. They sign on for a 3-year term. At the end of those 3 years, when they leave, the ship is then home ported in, you know, wherever she is, and a lot of the folks who sign up are from that area. So again, it's very common to have this happen, and there isn't nearly as much of a thing of basic training as there is today. Even during World War II, you can still show up on the ship and say you want to enlist and do all of your onboarding and basic stuff on that ship. So if you read the article, we've got an image of it posted in the description below. It says that he is showing up for his enlistment ceremony on the battleship because that's where his sons are. So this is still something that's happening 9 months after the attack on Pearl Harbor. So really, again, we talk about the Fighting Sullivans as this unique situation, and everything changes after that, but we never really think about how monumental of a change that is. A lot of military theory is based on how many people can somebody maintain a relationship with. And this is far more true for the land services, where a company is typically 100 or 150 men under the command of an officer. Well, that's the number of names that psychologists say that it's easy for somebody to maintain. So that captain who's commanding a company can learn the names of all 150 people under them. and know them by sight. And then because you can't manage that many people, he's got a couple of more junior officers under him who are each managing a couple of senior enlisted people under them, and they're each managing a group of a certain size, because that's what you can easily manage. And it all goes back to this brain psychology thing, and we forget about how the military establishment that we have is based on that. And going back to this era where training is less standardized and less common, how the heck do you get a bunch of guys to line up on the gun deck of a ship that's being bombarded by an enemy ship's cannons, or get to line up in a field and stand there while they're shooting? Well, it's because their brother's standing next to them, and their lawyer is the guy telling them what to do, and their next door neighbor is standing next to them on the other side. So if I turn around and run from this line, I can never go back home because everybody there knows that I'm a disgrace now. And so it is a huge, huge deal that we have all of these family members who die together on Arizona or on Juno, and that finally, in late 1942, this whole practice has changed. How many people from your family served? Let us know in the comment section down below. Obviously, it used to be common for an entire family to go into the Navy, serve on the same ship. When you or multiple family members of yours serve, do you find that they all serve in the same place? With my family, I've got some who went in the Air Force, some who went in the Coast Guard, some who were in the Army, some who were in the Navy. It's pretty spread out. However, during World War II and just after, my grandfather and all of his siblings went into the Navy. But they all got put on different ships because it was after this time period. What's your experience with that? Let us know in the comment section down below. Battleship New Jersey receives operating support from the New Jersey Department of State, also from a number of other businesses and private individuals like yourselves. We really appreciate your support, and we really appreciate the support of this video's sponsor, Established Titles. Remember, there's a link in the description below to check out the sales that they're running right now, and remember to use our discount code BATTLESHIP to not only get an additional discount on your next purchase, remember it's the holidays coming up, but your area will be put near mine. Your support and this sponsor's support go directly into the ongoing preservation of the ship. You can also support the museum by liking, sharing, and subscribing so more people find out about the channel and our museum. Thanks for watching.